Corki has not looked so good so far here in Fearless in the LCK Cup. Out of the 7 games, has been played 7 times. That's a big 0.
I mean, and they're going to prioritize the Ashe. Oh, no.
Oh, God. Okay. Let's see whether 0 and 8 is on the cards or whether this is the first win for the Corki.
You had Aurora up, you had Ashe up, and you opted for Corki. Why'd you even pick blue side? Braum isn't like the strongest lane that you could have, but really gives them a very powerful level 1 with the already really strong lanes, like all 3 that they have.
All right, that's Elise.
Okay.
Well, that is going into support, ladies and gentlemen, because otherwise that is triple.
We'll just be the Lee Sin ultimately here. And, you know, the thing is, the draft in isolation for DRX is like a middling, you know, it's a Game 2 Fearless draft. You know, some champs were missing.
Stock standard AoE team fighting.
It's the best Corki laning phase I've ever seen. Hey, that's a good start. Yep. That's a good start.
Maybe they just go in. This is the problem, though, is that when we're just fighting in the neutral, there's 2 champions that can hit from long way away.
Yeah. If only Keria just...
T1, I just feel like they spiked so incredibly hard in the early game. All right, there's a flash cocoon, and that looks like first blood pretty comfortably. Valkyrie away here from LazyFeel as best he can, as Sponge Warrior Tricksters to get himself over the wall, which is
wherever Corki is. And... you know, double Scuttle, double Lee Sin.
It's the dream.
Sponge is going to try for it.
He is not going to be able to get it. Sponge gets over the wall. That was a bit cute. As Equalizer goes down, Rich, 0 mana available. Look at this. Just trying to clear out the wave as best he can. Is Rich. Fellow's Breath going to be necessary there, but Toon going to land. A lot of burst damage. There's the headshot, and boom. That's it. Keria's going to be able to pick it up in the end as Rich. He can. Wow. Okay.
So this is the second time, because you can see his ult's still on cooldown.
Yeah.
And he just dies.
And that's just another repel. And there it is. So ever again.
I don't want to see in the bottom lane at least, okay? We could start with that.
Yeah, we can start with that. As Ona's going to get flashed on here, Solar Flare comes down. That is a very deadly Sin. They'll take their first kill of the game. As now Doran possibly in trouble as Rich coming in. Where was that going? That's off the tracks entirely. As Rich does get the knock-up to prove that something's going to land, but there's no one else here now. Faker not really finding very much damage with the ulti as LazyFeel, oh dear. There's the last auto in the air from Keria.
But this is not about like, man, he's not a great player, man. He's really rough around the edge. I mean, he's playing into Caitlyn, it's a rough time. And they end up getting this pick here. This is really well set up. You know, you can set up the Leona pick here onto the Lee Sin very easily. But unfortunately, it does leave LazyFeel open on the top side of the map, and
maybe he thought Faker was going to flash or something and it was going to be a cool play. Tries to cleanse, and he's just dead. Just the casual auto attack, domestically powerful, right? Like this is before they just started winning every world. It's like this
when
was 2022.
They win everything, and they win this.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah,
ace in the hole.
And like this is why Keria was playing like Kalista support and Caitlyn support and stuff, because they're like, what lane can we win no matter what bottom lane? Let's just make it win every time.
Cocoon as the trap comes down, and unfortunately it was a little bit late. It's kind of crazy. Keria certainly having a much better time than he otherwise was, and not so much. We'll be able to dodge that cocoon.
They can use it for the next dragon, like set up for Prio. Yukal is the only gold lead on the map. And, I mean, he's trying to side lane against Faker here while everyone's resetting. This is an opportunity, potentially.
Yeah, does have that Chaos Storm. Faker going to be able to use the ult. There's no explaining it that makes sense to me. Personally, as Faker could be in trouble here. As the train comes down, this time it's going to land. Nice little chain CC there from Rich, but he's well and truly by himself. And he's going to have to try and flash away the flash forward from Ona, and he kicks him in the back of the head. That's going to send him to the death chamber as Sponge Warrior Tricksters to get himself out of the way, and Gumayushi doing the thing he loves to do best, which is...
But also killing turrets, like you said, he is a big enjoyer of that. Faker may be in trouble really for real this time, maybe?
Yeah. He's not going to be able to make that flash work, as Ona is like, yeah, you're on your own, buddy.
Case. Small victory.
That's the support, by the way.
This is a rough one, man. This is our first, like, real stomp, like...
Doran's dead. There we go.
Hey, it's a lot harder than when like Doran's pushed a little bit up in the side lane, when Faker pushed up in the side. Keria, maybe?
Yeah. Does flash on the owner train.
I think I am too, to be honest with you, because he's had a good game here, even though it's been kind of quiet.
Yeah. I feel like this is the type of series where you kind of, okay.
Or maybe it's not Keria.
Keria is going to die, but Lazyfield is in a lot of trouble. Still gets himself to relative safety. Gumayushi now in trouble. Yukao comes over. Oh, DRX, have you found an angle to get back in? Ona says no, the equalizer. Not exactly the highest of value, but Yukao's the president. They have to keep that guy alive. He is all of the damage here for DRX. The Sponge diving towards Faker, trying to make me into a liar here as he is able to slam down with damage himself. Doran wanting to find an opportunity, but Yukao.
And yet, they don't have enough control. T1 are back on the Dragon first, as you can see in live. I don't want to break this replay down too much because we are having some action in live.
Yeah, you can see Rich gonna flash towards the wall and not over it. Faker is going to be gifted the kill, I believe. There it is. Zona once again in control of this one. We're still waiting for the Wukong to turn up as he gets into the pit. Can they deny the solar kick? Says absolutely not. Yeah, I think POM going over to Ona sounds pretty good to me, as Andal is dead.
I don't know, I'm at a loss for this one, Atlas.
Yeah,
even if he dies, by the way, it's fine.
It doesn't really matter. Equalizer goes down. Yukao is the target. They've decided to kill him, and thus he will die. Andal gonna go down there as well. Truly on his back. And Sponge, that's an interesting little situation here as T1, they understand that it's going to be really hard to stop them from just taking what they want because they can't even die. As Ona goes in, goes back out, that is going to be inhibitor number 1 going down. Mid lane can fall swiftly afterwards. There's an inner turret still up on the bottom side, so 3 inhibs probably not going to happen here, but a dead Nexus, that's certainly on the cards. There are still minions conga lining their way in. 1 Nexus turret remains. As Andal, that Eclipse Shield not going to be enough. The train sails by without causing too much harm to anyone. And Yukao, I think, just going to park himself on the fountain because there's nothing he can do to stop the onslaught of T1. A 2-0. And Baron doubles the amount of kills their group has been able to pick up.